Mark Twain once famously said, "Never argue with a fool. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience." We have all been there. You are in a conversation and you state a simple fact, a proven fact, and the person across from you just denies it. They use bad logic, they get loud, they attack you personally. And what do? You try to fix it, you try to explain. You bring up Google, you bring up charts, you spend an hour of your precious life trying to make them see. But they don't see. And by the end of it, you are exhausted, angry, and drained, while they look energized. They look like they just want a prize. Here is the uncomfortable truth. You didn't lose the argument because you were wrong. You lost the argument because you entered it. Welcome to the Psyche Shift. Today, we are mastering the art of non-reaction. I am going to teach you the psychology behind why fools argue the way they do and why silence is actually the most aggressive power move you can make. We are going to cover 5 psychological principles, including the Dunning-Kruger Effect and a concept of energy currency that will save you years of stress. By the end of this video, you will never feel the need to prove yourself to a stubborn person ever again. Let's begin. Principle number 1 is understanding why they are so loud, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. In psychology, there is a cognitive bias called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. It explains a strange phenomenon. People with very low ability or knowledge in a specific area often overestimate their competence the most. You might think that ignorant people would be quiet because they don't know anything, but the opposite is true. Because they lack knowledge, they also lack the ability to realize that they lack knowledge. They are standing on what psychologists call Mount Stupid. They have read one headline, watched one video, and now they think they know more than a doctor or an expert. So when you argue with a fool, realize this: they are not lying to you. In their mind, they are genuinely right. They literally cannot see the gap in their logic. When you try to explain complex facts to them, it's like trying to explain colors to someone who is colorblind. You aren't fighting their stubbornness, you are fighting their cognitive limitation. Once you accept this, you stop taking their ignorance personally. Now, let's move to principle number 2. Energy is currency. I want you to imagine your mental energy like a bank account. Every morning, you wake up with $100 worth of energy. You spend $20 on your work, you spend $20 on your family, you spend $10 on your gym workout. Now, imagine you get into an argument with a fool in the YouTube comments or at a dinner party. You spend 30 minutes typing a response, getting angry, raising your heart rate. You just spent $40. And what did you get in return? Did they change their mind? No. Did you get paid? No. Did you feel better? No. You just made a terrible investment. You threw $40 into a fire and watched it burn. Smart, high-value people treat their energy like gold. They do not spend it on low ROI or return on investment activities. Arguing with someone who is committed to misunderstanding you is the fastest way to go spiritually bankrupt. Before you open your mouth to correct someone, ask yourself, is this person worth $50 of my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. So keep your wallet closed, keep your mouth shut, and walk away richer than they are. Principle number 3 is a single phrase that acts like a verbal trapdoor. You might be right. This is the most powerful sentence in the English language for ending an argument instantly. When a fool is arguing with you, they are expecting resistance. They are pushing against a door, waiting for you to push back. That resistance is what fuels them. It gives them a sense of purpose. But when you say, you know what, you might be right, or that's an interesting perspective, you are suddenly stepping aside. Because you are no longer pushing back, they fall forward. They lose their balance. Now be careful. You are not saying you are right. You are not agreeing with their lie. You are simply acknowledging the possibility that in an infinite universe, their delusion exists for them. It is a polite way of saying, I am done with this conversation.
It robs them of the satisfaction of a fight. They want to be a warrior, you are treating them like a child with a noisy toy. You nod, you smile, and you let them keep their toy while you keep your peace. Now, let's move to principle number 4. Observe, don't absorb. This is a mental shift called the scientist mindset. Usually, when someone yells at us or speaks nonsense, we absorb their emotions. We take it personally. We think, why are they disrespecting me? This is so unfair. I want you to put on an imaginary white lab coat. From now on, when you encounter a foolish person, imagine you are a scientist studying a rare specimen. Do not engage with the specimen, just observe it. Instead of getting angry, get curious. Look at them and think, wow, look at how their face turns red when they are challenged. Interesting. Look at how they just change the subject to avoid the truth. Fascinating behavior. When you view them as a subject of study rather than an enemy, you create emotional distance. You detach your ego from the situation. A scientist doesn't get angry at a rat in a maze for making a wrong turn. A scientist just takes notes. Be the scientist. Let them be the rat.
Finally, principle number 5. Your inner peace is more important than being right. There is a question you must ask yourself in the heat of every conflict. Would I rather be right, or would I rather be happy? Often you cannot be both. If you choose to be right, you have to fight. You have to get dirty. You have to stress your heart and pollute your mind with negativity. You might win the argument, but you lose your morning, your mood, and your vibration. If you choose to be happy, you have to let go. You have to let them be wrong. This is the ultimate level of Stoicism. It is the understanding that your internal state is sacred territory. No one is allowed to enter with dirty shoes. When you refuse to argue with a fool, you are not weak. You are practicing aggressive self-protection. You are saying, my peace is too expensive for you to afford. Let them have the last word. You keep the peace. Let them think they won the battle. You are winning the war of life. The conclusion. So let's recap the 5 psychological shifts to master non-reaction. The Dunning-Kruger Effect, accept that ignorance is often loud and blind. Energy is currency. Don't spend your limited energy on bad investments. You might be right. Use this phrase to disarm them instantly. The scientist mindset. Observe the behavior, don't absorb the emotion. Protect your peace. Happiness is more valuable than being right. The next time you feel that urge to correct someone, to type that angry comment, or to scream facts at a wall, stop. Take a breath. Remember who you are. You are a high-value individual. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The lion does not lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. If this video helped you find your calm, please hit the like button. It helps us reach more people who need this message. And if you want to master your mind and psychology, make sure to subscribe to the Psyche Shift. I want to know, what is the most ridiculous argument you've ever walked away from? Tell me your story in the comments below. Stay calm, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.